So, Gina Haskett with me talking tonight, this afternoon in, where are you in the world?
I'm in the Los Angeles area.
Well, LA.
Yeah.
Yes. Calling from Lisbon. And I'm wondering about Vlog Europe and what people that never attended a Vlog Europe think about it. So, first question I've been asking people, it's obvious you've never attended a Vlog Europe, have you?
No, I haven't.
So let's just skip to question number 2.
Well, no, I wanted to, absolutely wanted to, but circumstances outside of my control kept me from doing so.
Which ones did you plan on going to?
The one, not the last one, but the one before that. I think it was the one in 2008. And I actually,
In Germany.
No, it might have been Prague.
Budapest.
Budapest, yes.
That one sounded perfect. That one sounded wonderful.
Yeah, and I think I actually had the money, and then my life just went bonkers. And I think it was the same time that the American economy was starting to go bonkers, and no one could really go anywhere. So
there's always something.
Yeah, that was the one I had the best chance of going to, and I couldn't. But a lot of people.
You missed a good one.
Yeah.
I missed that one too. I've only attended one Vlog Europe in Milan. And I've been trying to, but something always happens. If it's a kid is born, or there's no money, or there's too much work, or something always comes up.
What's question number 2?
What are you expecting to find, and what are you looking for in an event like Vlog Europe? Why should someone go to Vlog Europe?
Well, if it was anything like VloggerCon, and I did attend VloggerCon here in the United States, it was a great opportunity to meet some of the people that actually created video, or you admired their style or their content. It was a good opportunity to meet people who actually understood what you were trying to do and just weren't encouraging you because it kept you busy. So there was, at the time that I attended, it was camaraderie, it was an exchange of technical information. Some of the aesthetics were also talked about, and some of the just being able to walk up to someone and say, hey, I really liked your work. And you might have been the first person in a long time for someone, because a lot of us work in the shadows, and we know people are watching our work, but we don't know how they feel about it because they don't leave comments. So to have someone you don't know walk up and say, hey, I think you're doing a fabulous job, that's really helpful.
I saw that video and I loved it, yes.
Yeah.
It's direct feedback, I understand that, yes. Yeah. So there were 2 Vlogger cons, weren't there?
There was one there were many. The largest one that I happened to attend, the first one I was able to go to, was the one in San Francisco.
Yes.
So that was 2006. And then there was a kind of sort of VloggerCon at Pixelodian, where a lot of us met up again. And that was held at the American Film Institute here in Hollywood. There was certainly on the East Coast in New York, there were multiple smaller VloggerCons that people met up with. And I wasn't involved in vlogging at the time, but my understanding was that there were a lot of those meetups, and occasionally those smaller meetups still happen.
Yes, cool. Okay. So, you want to come? You want to meet people?
Well, yeah.
What about Lisbon in particular? Do you know anything about the city? What do you think you would find here?
I know, being a stupid American, I know next to nothing about Lisbon, except I think it might have been mentioned once or twice in Casablanca. It was just not, and I could be wrong about that.
I think it was. He was flying to Lisbon when he was getting away from Humphrey Bogart, when he was getting on a plane, I think. I'm not sure.
This puts me ahead of most Americans, because Lisbon, and yeah, they would fake it. But no, to be able to go overseas, to be able to see other cultures, to be able to talk about different things and get a global perspective, you can't do that sitting in your living room. So it's good to fly over and check out how the other half vlogs. Because I suspect that there's a different approach to it than what we do over here in the States.
Well, I'm not sure. Some Americans have been flying over to Europe to attend VlogEurope's,
Mm-hmm.
and well, they say the atmosphere is different, but I'm not sure there's a really big difference. It's just people making video to put on the internet. I'm sorry.
Maybe so, but you folks are going to come from it from a different cultural perspective. Your video voice is going to be different from mine, and so
Yes, of course.
that's just the point I'm making.
Yes, I'm sure. One other thing I wanted to ask, and I forgot.
Yeah, I talk a lot.
I'll leave you to it. Anything you want to add? Give you some minutes to maybe remember what I was going to ask. Anything you want to add about
Well,
these events?
to encourage people to come to Vlog Europe, you should do it, especially if you're in the neighborhood. You should do it with an open mind, and because there's some new things coming down the road, particularly with the iPad. The technology, the technology has leaped ahead again. And we have to keep in mind that a lot of people are going to be creating video content using mobile devices.
Yeah.
That is going to be that is a fundamental shift. They will know nothing about an actual camcorder. They will know nothing about using software for compression. Everything will be in that mobile device. How does that change the way that information is presented? So there's a whole new curve of people coming that could be introduced to some of the concepts that the vloggers have presented over the years or have figured out.
Yes. Well, nowadays you don't have to be very literate to put a video on YouTube. It's easier.
Oh,
It's easy. It's really easy.
It's easier, but
Easier. Okay. I'll give you that. It's easier.
I want them to be a hell of a lot more literate, please. I don't want to encourage them not to be literate.
Well, I suppose, but it's not a bad thing if it's just as easy as pressing a button and talking to a camera or choosing content and publishing it. Because I remember, I've been doing this for some years now, and I remember when you had to almost know HTML and the embedding codes and the pop-up players, and it was really messy. And it has become a lot easier.
So, are you saying there's no reason to have a VloggerCon?
There is a reason, but as far as I'm concerned, and the reason I'm more interested in is about, well, some technical things always come up, and that's not bad. But for me, it's about meeting people and seeing how people do creative things and being inspired.
And
for me, that's always been the best part of the VlogEurope experience.
well, there are some other things, unfortunately, that have come up the past couple of days here in America. I also think that there's going to need to be some discussion about ethics, responsibility, and documenting who you are and telling your stories and telling them authentically. These things are going to become more and more part of our discussion. And it's great to be creative, but there's some responsibility within that creativity as well.
Yes, well, the conversations I attended, and I'm getting to the last question. I remember what it was. The conversations I witnessed, some really difficult issues always come up. But my question was, and it has something to do with how these conversations take place. When I went to VlogEurope in Milan, there were formal sessions organized so people could debate and talk about things. And then there was the informal gatherings, like in any other conference. I think people meet in the hallways and at dinner. And, well, in the last few years, and that's, I think, what is going to happen in Lisbon, we're going to have more of an informal gathering. It's going to be an excuse to move around Lisbon, meet Lisbon, go see cool places, and do lots of videos and, just talk about things. And then have just one formal session on Saturday night where people meet, and there will be a team, or there will be some sort of schedule for people to do video heated stuff.
It
So
sounds
there
like
is going to be more informal time than formal session time. Do you think that is a good option, or do you think people are going to look for formal sessions and conferences in something like VlogEurope?
Are you familiar with the concept of an unconference?
Well, I think I am, and I've heard it mentioned a lot lately, because people don't want to sit in a room and listen to someone talk. They want to interact. Is that it?
Well, an unconference, also known as bar camps and various other names, it sounds exactly like what you're describing. If everyone gets together and says, this is what we want to do, and yes, there is a small component where we're sitting in chairs, that's fine. But if the conference members have decided to go out and record as part of the unconference, that's perfectly valid. In fact, it's rather exciting.
Cool. So you think that would be a good format for something like a VlogEurope unconference then?
Well, if everyone's on board with it, yes, absolutely.
I think, well, if things are planned ahead and publicized correctly, if people know what they're coming for, I suppose that would be okay.
Yeah, just make sure you have food, dude.
Well, I will have plenty of restaurants around, and I plan on having big dinners with big food, big wine, big everything.
See, that's the major important part. It's got to have some food.
Food and booze. The VlogEuropes, I always end up with large dinners and people getting really happy and just talking to each other.
See, that's an inducement for half of America to come visit anyway.
Okay. We'll be glad to have you all.
Well, I wish I could, but hopefully maybe next year we'll try again.
Okay.